I'm going to backtrack to some of the points made to some holes in the points made by the negative. One, that the civil case argument, the Supreme Court has already decided that the exclusionary rule only applies to police conduct in criminal cases. Arguing that the exclusionary rule being absent from civil cases is a problem is an entirely different debate altogether, and is not one that relates to the civil fines for breaking into criminal cases. Also, the claim that the exclusionary rule was intended as a deterrent is false. This has been said by the Supreme Court. The exclusionary rule should not be, to quote the United States v. Leon, which is a very important case to quote the opinion from the United States v. Leon. The court said that the exclusionary rule is only for enforcing, to enforce conduct in line with the Fourth Amendment, and should not be applied to deter objectively reasonable conduct, which is why good faith is an exception. And the court also said in the aforementioned Herring case that exclusion has been our last resort and not our first impulse. And to add some context to the Herring case, the police officer followed Herring because Herring 1 was driving on the wrong side of a one-way road. He pulled him over, he found that his license was suspended, and so he punched it into the system. The system pulled up the warrant that was out of date, but because the warrant was there, the police investigated. It was not the police maliciously intending to get this guy. He was already pulled over for an offense. Police checked if there's anything else on him, checked the neighboring county, there was. So he conducted a search and found even more. He was a felon and held a handgun, which was illegal. He had drugs in the trunk, which was illegal. And so the officer was in his mind was acting on good faith. It wasn't a hole like the negative said, which is why the good faith exception exists. The civil fines, the claim that the civil fines add a loophole is false. One, because illegally obtained evidence, such as the planted evidence, as they said, is still illegal, and the court will throw that out. It's more as a deterrent to keep police in check. Like, good faith would still incur a fine because it was obtained illegally, but it's more of a thing to keep police in line. Illegally obtained evidence is still illegal. It's not making it illegal through a loophole. Also, the fines are only applying to the public servants. It's not applying, like they said, it's not applying to some random billionaire who's in a case. It's applying as a deterrent of misconduct. It's saying you did this wrong. This is the consequence. Not this is your get out of jail free card. To this you just paid this. It's still a deterrent. It's still on the record that this was illegal. Also, back to good faith. Good faith is at the discretion of the judge and not the intent of the officer. It does not matter the subjective intent of the officer, say that they believed it was good. Good faith only applies if they're backed up by something, say a law that they were following that was invalidated or constitutional, or a warrant that was found to be false. It's not it's not judged on the intent of the officer. It's judged on the reasonableness and the backing that the officer's action had. If they're acting with no backing, it's illegal. The evidence is still thrown out. The good faith is not that. It is not that open.